Righty, y'all, how are we? Welcome in here, guys, to Slaughterhouse Sports. We're going to talk about Oregon. We're going to talk about the Ducks today. We're going to do a whole schedule preview. We're going to talk about last season. We're going to have a little bit of fun on this show. Not so much fun, but a little bit of fun. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to enjoy it. So we look at last year. We're going to recap last year's schedule, and then we're going to talk about like who went to the NFL. And let's just talk about last season. So last season, I was excited for Dillon Gabriel to be there, Jordan James, Tez Johnson in his final year at Oregon. You also had like Evan Stewart coming into the fold as well. You had Matayo on that defensive line. I think Elijah Rushing might have been a very, very young player at that time. And in fact, this year... Well, Rushing redshirted last year. So, I mean, Rushing redshirted. And to tell you the truth, Bryce Boettcher was a great surprise. So, they also had a guy out of Alabama, Justin Jacobs, I think. He actually was out of Iowa. A big kind of, linebacker for the University of Oregon. All right. Overall, they had guys like Jordan Birch, who came from South Carolina. He played 2 years for Oregon on that defensive line. Matayo had his moments, but really it was Derek Harmon, who was another transfer player. So really, you look at this defense, and Elijah Rushing, he's not even listed as a starter this year, but he is a 5-star talent, okay? So we're not into this season, but Elijah Rushing out of Tucson, I want him to be a big-time player for Oregon, and then Oregon's going to have to develop some really good secondary play. They just get a lot of transfers in the back end, and let's look at this season. So they start off horribly. They play on Peacock against Boise, game that if you're a national broadcaster, okay, you are barely watching that football game, and that game went down to the wire. That was kind of a pitiful performance. Then they play on Fox, in-state game. I guess it's 1 o'clock out it's at Corvallis, so I give Oregon a lot of credit for making the bus trip to Corvallis. They have a great second half, and they blow out Oregon State. So that was massive, massive, massive for them. Then they play a night game on Saturday against UCLA. They kill UCLA. They play at home against Michigan State. Their defense is impeccable against Aiden Childs, a very good passer of the ball against Jonathan Smith, who they really have a lot of familiarity with. And then the big game is Ohio State. They win it. Dillon Gabriel's unbelievable. Evan Stewart has one of his biggest games. Terrence Ferguson, the offense just pops. And defensively, they give up some yardage to Ohio State, but they storm the field, and that's one of the biggest wins at Autzen Stadium that they've ever had. They go to Michigan several weeks later. They win at Michigan. They handle Illinois at home, and they absolutely kill Purdue. They shut out Purdue. So they're on fire. They play Maryland at home. Okay, overall, what a season. The one game that got crazy was at Wisconsin. It was Alex Grinch, actually, former USC defensive coordinator, and it was Luke Fickell. And Wisconsin had a great game plan in the frigid cold to really square up Oregon's offense. Oregon couldn't run the football, and then Oregon had trouble all day offensively, and that game was an absolute slog. But Matayo, I think, with a strip sack fumble of Billy Edwards, they win that game late. That was a very exciting performance, okay? Then they play Washington. They finally avenge the loss to Washington. They blow the game open late. They win that game to go 12-0 to have an undefeated season. The toughest games were Ohio State, were at Wisconsin. Overall, not the toughest schedule. You had Illinois at home. It's just because Oregon is so good. You played at Michigan and won there. You played Illinois. Oregon was just a really good offensive football team. Defensively, they were a decent football team. Okay, Penn State. this is where you saw the signs that this football team was not going to do much in the playoffs. They gave up 300 rushing yards, which is not what Dan Lanning and Tosh Lupoy and Tony Toyota, that's not what they're all about. They got squashed on the ground in this contest to Penn State. They had to hang on for their dear life. And it was just Tez Johnson who had, I think 2 touchdowns in the game. Kenyon Sadiq could be the starting tight end this year. I think he's going to media days. He had a huge game. And then in the Rose Bowl, they just get housed by about 20 to end their season. And it was just tough for Oregon. They weren't peaking at the right time. All right. If we look at their personnel, we look at Oregon's personnel this year, I'm so excited about the 2 Moores. Dakorien Moore out of the state of Texas. This is a 5-star receiver. This is the best wide receiver in the 2025 class. He could be a impact freshman just like a Jeremiah Smith player. He is a first-round talent. You also have Gary Bryant, who's been at Oregon for quite some time. Kyler Casper's going to take on more of a role. You have out of Missouri, Jeremiah McClellan, a 4-star recruit. Okay, you have Malik Benson that was at Florida State. Believe he might have been at Alabama before that. He is from community college. He is a talented route running player. Okay, you get a player in Isaiah World that is a high level tackle who was at the University of Nevada. This guy is a big guy. He is listed at 6'8", 312. It's really exciting for Alec Terry and this offensive line group to have Isaiah World on the offensive line, Matthew Bedford, and I guess Alex Harkey, who is another tackle who is from Texas State, and he is 6'6", 335. So overall, the transfers going to be an impact. Running back as well. You're getting a guy. You have Noah Whittington as a running back, but you are getting Makki Hughes, who I believe is from Tulane, one of the best rushers in the American Conference last year. Love this offense. You're going to have Kenyon Sadiq. You're going to have great speed. Makki Hughes, Dakorien Moore at quarterback gives you even more upside than Dillon Gabriel does. Okay. Kyler Casper, Jeremiah McClellan. I'm not worried at all about Will Stein in this offense. Defensively, okay, I want the pass rush to still be effective. You have Bear Alexander, who we're going to have to get to playing consistently. Blake Purchase has to play better than he did last season. You have Matayo, Elijah Rushing, like I talked about. I need this pass rush to absolutely roll. All right? Nasir Wyatt is a freshman. Naeem Oxford is a freshman. Jaleel Florence, we're going to see if Flo can stay healthy and have a big-time year, okay? And then Dillon Thieneman from Purdue. This is another transfer, okay, that it could be an impact guy for Oregon. So overall, you have Boettcher in the middle. You have Devin Jackson. These are all your kind of homegrown talent. A lot of homegrown talent on this team. Amari Washington and Matayo, hopefully Elijah Rushing and Blake Purchase. I want to see some of these guys that are homegrown factor into this defense, especially along the lines and especially in the backer room. So this is really good for Nebraska or for Oregon. This is good. I like this team. I love this roster. Let's get to the schedule. All right. First time really dissecting this, guys. Here we go. What do we think? This is going to be a ton of fun. Here we go. The Oregon football schedule 2025. We're going to map it out together. We're in Autzen playing Montana State. Very good FCS team, one of the best FCS teams. I like that we have this football game. I have Oregon winning this football game. Oklahoma State at home. They're probably going to bring Haas Henge on the road with them. You're going to have a really fun defensive scheme in Todd Grantham. He's going to blitz a lot. You have Doug Meacham there as an offensive coordinator. So it's going to be kind of your air raid TCU, Mike Gundy, back to the basics. And Haas Henge is a quarterback that is from Fort Worth, Texas. He's a strong quarterback, a pretty good leader. He's going to be a running quarterback. This is going to be a fun game. 3:30. But Oklahoma State's putting a lot of new players on the field. I love this matchup. This is a fun helmet game. Okay, I like that Oklahoma State is taking this trip out there. Then you go to Northwestern. Sleepy game, okay, noon football game, 9 o'clock for your body temperature. It says it's on Fox, September 13th. That's fine. Northwestern games are meant to be at noon and meant to be over at about 2:45, and you're meant to, and Oregon fans will pack out Chicago. It'll be nice that time of year in Illinois and Chicago. Good trip as well. Stress-free. The toughest game is Oklahoma State. Then you have Oregon State at home. An exciting quarterback, honestly. I love Malik Murphy. I thought he was very good at Duke. I guess, listen, the Darian Mensah is better than Malik Murphy, but if we're talking NFL upside, Malik Murphy has it. I don't know why Auburn didn't get a guy like Malik Murphy. Then you go to Penn State. Okay, that's the game of all games. September 27th, Penn State, under the lights, the whiteout game. Going to be so much fun. I have Oregon actually losing to Penn State in that game. Then you come home and play Indiana, and whatever the spread is going to be after this bye week and after losing to Penn State, it's going to be probably a 15.5-point spread, and I think that Oregon's going to absolutely destroy Indiana. Then you have a weird trip. You have to go to Rutgers. You're luckily going to be playing at night, okay, but I don't like this trip all the way out to New Jersey. A little bit tough. Then you have Wisconsin, luckily a soft landing at home. I still think you win all of these games. You have a bye week. Then here we go. You go at Iowa after the bye. This is going to be a physical game, but the fact that you have a bye week is very good. If Iowa were after Rutgers, Oregon could lose this game at Kinnick Stadium. This is where teams go to die. Great teams go to die is at Kinnick. All right, but I want a night game there. It should be a lot of fun. Then you come home and you play Minnesota. Really fun game, okay? And then you end with USC and Washington. Boy, oh boy. I think Washington could be a really tough game. I think Demon Williams is going to be on fire. I think USC could potentially be a really, really challenging game. I think Minnesota is going to be pretty physical. So I have, during this stretch, I'm going to say actually that the Trojans are going to beat the Ducks here. The Trojans are going to get hot and beat Oregon. I have Oregon getting upset in one game. So I have Oregon going 10-2. 10-2 with the schedule, automatic spot, probably in the Big Ten championship, definitely into the playoffs. And with that, I think that Dakorien Moore is going to have a really big season. I think that this team will get rested. This team can win the national championship. This team will probably make the semifinals of the national championship. I think that Penn State's a little bit better than Oregon. I think that LSU potentially could be a little bit better than Oregon. I'm worried about the back end. I think Nussmeier's really good. I think Drew Allard's a great quarterback. If this team is going to win a national championship, okay, then honestly, the running game of our guy, Makki Hughes, is going to have to be great. And then Dakorien Moore, Kenyon Sadiq. I think it's still a top 4 football team. And I see this team having big wins on the season, winning 10 games. I don't see them winning 9 games. They could, if they win 11 games, that's mighty, mighty impressive. The schedule is not the easiest. Going to Iowa, having to play Minnesota, having to play Wisconsin, Oklahoma State. Like, I don't think they're beating Penn State at Penn State. So then they're going to have to win every single rest of those games. No, they're probably going to lose one. All right. I bet the over-under for Oregon, if we look at Oregon over-unders, I bet it's going to be 9.5. Wow, it's over-under 10.5. Let's see where the juice is for the over-under. Ooh. I just want to see this, guys, right here on FanDuel. We're going to do Oregon over-under. I'm surprised it's honestly 10.5. I just listen, I think it's going to be tough. I might lay the under. And you know I love Dan Lanning. I've been on this team for a while. They could still win a national title, but you lose to Penn State, and then you're going to have to win every single game the rest of your season. It's going to be a tall task. And even Washington's going to be really good with DeMond Williams. USC's going to be really good. Minnesota's going to find their stuff out. There's some real trap games towards the back half. But I'm saying 10 wins into the playoff. They're going to win a couple of playoff games to get further down the line. Dante Moore will be a good quarterback for Oregon. He could even stay one more year. You'll then get Evan Stewart, Dakorien Moore. Matayo might end up leaving, but Matayo, if he's going to be that good, then Oregon might be able to win the national championship. So I'd say that they are right now in the top 4 of teams that I could see winning a whole national title. All righty, guys, let me know what y'all think about those Oregon Ducks.